But if you go back a few years, a typical college or university was just thinking about the technology, but now we're thinking about the student from moving from school, choosing a university, the experience they have at university, finding a career. Technology has a role to play in all of those organisations. Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a partner at Emerge and also the sister company EdSpace. So let me explain first of all to you what Emerge is and what EdSpace is, before we'll journey a little bit into the UK EdTech market and HE. Emerge is a seed investment company. We're Europe's leading seed investor. We've got 54 investments across K-12, higher education, lifelong learning and corporate. And we've been running for 5 years now, investing in those categories. We look at about 1,000 companies a year at the top of the funnel, and we invest in about 10. And we will then not accelerate those companies, but we will incubate those companies and support them through their life cycle until they get to Series A. And the way we measure ourselves is we look for exceptional entrepreneurs who can make massive educational impact. And if we support them to grow, that's how we make our impact. Now, when we started Emerge, we were wondering where Emerge should be, and that's why we set up a not-for-profit co-working space called EdSpace. And EdSpace is in East London, actually in a college. And to understand colleges are where 76% of 16 to 18-year-olds are at school every day, and they're the ones who are most at risk of future of work. So here we are, an investment company, renting space off EdSpace, a community of 600 people in the UK of education, charities, not-for-profits, trying to exist as a community with other partners like Visa and Educate and new areas like EETN. If we think about the UK specifically, and the context of that in Europe, okay? Europe as a whole produces 25% of all EdTech companies, but only receives 1% of global funding. So we've got some of the best companies global in EdTech, but they're not getting any support or funding. And that's why Emerge and others exist here in the UK. Because Europe is a great source of European founders, it's a great source of European EdTech, it's a great source of companies, and it's not being well served by capital. So that gives us a great opportunity to find amazing EdTech companies and help them discover the rest of the world by going international. If you look at UK EdTech, okay, there is currently a real focus on the problems of what we call post-16. Increasingly, further education colleges, universities and workplaces are thinking about access to further education, access to higher education, and then access to employment. And really what you're talking about here is a student journey. But if you go back a few years, a typical college or university was just thinking about the technology, but now we're thinking about the student from moving from school, choosing a university, the experience they have at university, finding a career. Technology has a role to play in all of those organisations. We are working with universities and colleges to help them understand the benefits that they can get through technology. But of course, the problems are the barriers. If you look at the education market, it's 5 trillion globally, but only a tiny amount of that is actually digital. And why is that? It's the political landscape, it's the leadership, it's not a quick market. Okay, and so what we do at Emerge is we try and collaborate, with the market as a whole to break down those barriers. And I think 2 good examples of that happening is the new EETN network, that is a European network of universities collaborating on technology, and also our own UK network. And those 2 I think could work together. So we've had a group of 14 UK universities that have met for the last 2 years talking about the barriers to startup adoption at university. And the programme of change that has come out of that is called Step Up, which is a scheme by GIST to help universities procure startups more easily. And that's exactly the same mission that the EETN has as well. That's a collaboration, that's a group of European universities that will grow, and they're there to share best practice in the adoption of EdTech technology. So for me, the only way that we as a co-working space investment company get to achieve the ambitions of our founders is to collaborate with the network as a whole. And I think in education, collaboration is very important indeed.